Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today we're gonna have a speed build as we normally do this time of week. But I just wanted to show you a thing first because I got mail. And first of all, it's not fan mail and it's not sponsored. I just want to show you something. Sacks. Because last week I made my zoo entrance in Lucca Family Zoo. And there we put in some merchandise, if we can call it that. We used... Sorry, the sound goes straight into the microphone here. But we did use the gift shop, the gift shop pack from Nicholas Linewriter to put in some merch that you actually can't get in real life, and that was what I was going to show you. I talked a lot in that episode about the WWF World Wildlife Foundation because it is basically a what's it called, firm brand organization that means a lot to me personally, and it is so that at least on their Danish website, I'm not sure if they do it in every single country, but you can actually buy stuff in their shop, and these are things that you actually can get around Danish zoos as well, and the money of course goes to helping a lot of animals. So after I actually went in there and signed up to pay some money, I went into the gift shop and I wanted to add everything, but I just got a few things that I'm going to show you. It's gonna make a lot of noise to pack it up, so I'm just gonna make a cut here. And I'm back, and do you recognize this beautiful cap? I do believe that the skin I used in that video, actually the logo here was bigger, like this I think, but otherwise it's actually really good. Nice quality, and they do come in one size, so if you have a weird kind of size head, you won't fit it, but otherwise I like it. Want a close-up right there, and with this strappy thing behind. I think I'm gonna keep this on. Then I got this one, and we don't got this in Planet Zoo yet. That may be the next thing on the gift shop pack. I'm pretty sure Nicholas Linewriter have a long list of things he wants to put on there, so maybe not, but there it was. A water bottle, what's it called, thermal, for you can keep your tea or coffee in here hot if you want to, and then it isn't too flashy with the WWF, but it is right there. Can you see it for the light? It's actually pretty cute. I don't know about that. It's really basic, but it works, and I'm using a lot of bottles for water and that kind of stuff here, especially now when I'm home a lot. It's just nice to have a bottle in here, but it's not nice to have plastic bottles all around, so I'm really liking this. And then lastly, I needed a new teddy because don't look back there, I definitely don't have enough yet. So, but this is just a little feller. They only have them in these this size. I think they had around 10 or 20 different animals. I got the panda, which is their own, what's it called? Brand. Logo is the panda. So I just thought it made sense to get this one, and it's cute and it's little. Actually in a few weeks I get a totally new everything, new closet, new gaming table, new setup, everything. So I actually think that he may be going on my new table, so I can see him when I play Planet Zoo. And if you didn't know, maybe you didn't read the what's it called? Name of this video, but this little fella is actually who is getting his home today. So I've been talking for way too long already, so let's just get into the video. Here we are in Planet Zoo. I will say you will see a lot of cuts and different kind of weirdness in this build, basically because it was really hard to concentrate, and even when I did concentrate, I got interrupted a lot because my little fur baby, Neo, he's the white one of my cats, if you wanted to know, he has this thing where he really wants to fight with everyone and everything, doesn't matter. Gender or species or size or anything, he just wants a fight. And he aren't always able to win these fights, and he got really hurt yesterday. So I have been up all night just sitting with him and trying to build this because I really wanted to build this. But he have multiple times just come around, you know, and really pathetic meowing that he needed attention. And I will say my cats, none of them are the ones that always need to be physical with you. They do like to be around you, but they don't like too much smothering. And he just needed completely smothering this night, and also today. He have been to the vet, he got some medicine, and hopefully he'll be all better in a few days. But yeah, it's just, it takes away focus for whatever you're doing, and if you ever had a fur baby like this, you know when you get them, it's just an animal, and suddenly someday you wake up and realize it's fucking your baby, and you will probably kill for it. So if you see a bit of weirdness, that I wasn't concentrated while doing things, then that's probably why. But he should be fine now. He got help, and hopefully that's enough. It usually are. He get hurt like this every other month, so it's not new to us at all. But talking a bit about the build, here you can see I work a lot around the pathing system because, as you know, if you've seen a lot of my videos, I hate the pathing system in Planet Zoo. It doesn't mean that it is a lot worse than every single other pathing system in every other game, but it is one of the worst one in games I have played. Especially the fact that you can't move the ground around the path, and you can't place the path unless you have a certain amount of completely even ground. And I really want this edge to be as close as possible to the path, which clearly is quite difficult to do. So you will see me work a bit around this a lot. At some point in a minute or two you will see me completely going backwards. Kind of wanted to start over, and yeah, shit show. But let's see what we can learn today about the Giant Panda. Now, while doing my ground research, and by that I of course mean just Google an animal, it was actually quite difficult to find information about the Giant Panda. It isn't that difficult normally. Normally you can just Google an animal and you will see several quite good articles just in the first. Normally it would be the first or second thing that came up on Google, and if you want more, there's certainly more just underneath it. But the thing is, with the giant panda, all of the good information just disappeared completely in different articles about that they are rare and we need to help them, and how they are the logo for WWF and all this kind of things. So that doesn't mean that there aren't good articles out there, they just kind of disappeared. So I had to look a bit further, that meaning that I couldn't just find it on the first Google page. I had to continue on, but I did end up finding some. That doesn't mean that I don't want the article about how to help the panda. I know WWF had at least 3 or 4 of them, and of course other help organization had also had some, and some news outlet also had some, and I appreciate it because it is an animal that needs help. But I want the cold facts about the animals. And I did end up finding that, and after seeing where it was from, I was just like, I always use the site, so why didn't I just go in there and search? So it is from Animalia, Animalia Bio, and you know, this is one of my favorite facts sites. It is not a site that writes a lot of text, but they just have a lot of straight information, which I really love, especially after all of these articles that only mention the number lived in the wild and maybe what they eat and how cute they are. Pretty much a lot of them talked about how cute the animals are, and I'm pretty sure you already noticed that before me telling you, so it didn't make sense to talk too much about. But let's get into the facts. There are 1,800 left. This doesn't say left in the wild. This population size. So I kind of feel like that's including the ones in captivity. I can't be sure, but it kind of feel like that if it's population size and not in the wild. Just a thing. They live around 20 to 30 years. They have a top speed of 32 kilometers an hour. They weigh between 70 and 160 kilos. That would be 140 pounds to 320 pounds. They grow up to their height is about 60 to 90 centimeters. That would be 2 to 3 feet, and they grow to 1.2 meter to 1.9. That would be 4 feet to 6 feet, I think. Yeah, sorry, that's quick brain. What's it called? My own math here, but I really try to practice to learn this kind of translation instead of looking it up every single time. I knew right away that I would have an issue with this build, because even though I have planned this build from, I actually made the Himalayan brown bear and the Formosan black bear habitat. I have known completely what I wanted from this habitat, and I actually built the entrance to make it fit this habitat better. But I have also known for quite a long time now that I would have an issue because the guests having such a small area to actually see the animals. You will be able to see it from the restaurant, which I thought would be kind of pulling people into a restaurant, which as you would do, of course. So I kind of feel like this build makes sense, and you are actually able to see the pandas a lot from here still, but you will get a closer look if you go into the restaurant. So therefore I needed to be able to both pull the pandas in front here, but also to give them something nice to look at. And therefore I thought a water hole where they could swing up here would be perfect. I thought about making a path up here, you will see, so you would be able to see the pandas more, but I actually got really quickly rid of that idea again, because there was no way to place this path without taking a lot of the view from when you actually enter the zoo. And I want you, when you come out of the zoo entrance, to actually see this is a beautiful magical place out here with a lot of animals. I don't want you to see, oh, that's a bridge. Because there aren't that many giant pandas lived in the wild, they of course doesn't live that many places, but they do live on a few mountains in China, mainly in the Sichuan, Shaanxi and Gansu province. They live in montane forest and mixed forest, which is pretty much what they want to eat. The panda actually have kind of an unpractical life. They do not hibernate and therefore they don't need some kind of cave or anything like that, but they do need a lot of bamboo to actually stay fit, doing all seasons of the year, of course. And to make their life even more difficult, they are actually not active once a day, they are active twice a day. So they are inactive in the main part of the day and in the night, but at dusk and dawn they will actually be pretty active, and it's also here they prefer to eat. So to be able to actually just wake up and be where there's always new bamboo, they actually move around. They have their own territory where they live alone, since they are solitary animals in the wild anyway, but they just move around in this territory, so they are able to always be near a new food source. They do mark their territory, of course, with pee and poo, as many other animals do, but also with scratch marks on tree. So in a panda's habitat, you will actually be able to see on the trees that there are claw marks all over them. I know it may look weird with all these flowers in front of the habitat, especially when you have a bad view of them in the first place, but it is kind of to make the animals again get a space between the guests and the pandas, since they can be very stressed very easily, and as we just heard, they are actually solitary animals, even though a lot of zoos actually have them in groups, and that's also what Planet Zoo actually recommend. I think groups up to 10 is what Planet Zoo says. I think we actually all know about the giant panda eating a lot of bamboo, but did you know that actually 99% of their diet is bamboo? And then I thought, well, what is the 1%? And it's actually kind of interesting based on a lot of what they eat are bamboo. So of course they are herbivores, folivores, so they eat a lot of greens. But the 1% is actually eat fish or eggs, based on whether or not they are able to get it. If you are able to just eat bamboo and not work too much for it, would you then want to actually go hunting or fishing for other things? And this is my theory, that pandas is just too lazy to actually eat what other bears eat. The fences in the background are actually based on polar bear habitat in Denmark. I don't know the new habitat in Copenhagen Zoo, but the old one actually had some of these fins into the polar bears, and there they actually taught the bears every day to go over and show their teeth and their claws and maybe ears, I don't know, and then they got a treat every day for going over there and doing that. I thought that you would probably be able to do the same with the pandas. I know we don't want to domesticate animals, especially endangered animals, so we can be able to release them in the wild, but it do allow the keepers and the vets to get a much closer look at what's going on with the pandas. If you hear a sound or two now, I'm sorry, it's my other cat, Ninja, who clearly doesn't like that she haven't got any attention all day. or night. So she kind of just wants to make noise now. And again, if you ever had a cat, you know when they decided to do something, you can't really stop them. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I actually made a mistake here when I made the trees. I did use the tag temperate and trees, but I forgot the tag Asian. So therefore I will have to go back in a minute or two to actually fix that. I know the indoor part of the habitat is too big, but rather too big than too small. And then I go in a bit heavy with all of the enrichment items, but again, rather too much than too little. Pandas are one of the animals that has a mating season, and that takes place March to May. The female will attract males basically by yelling at them. And then they will be pregnant for around 5 months. Afterwards they will get 1 or 2 cubs. And the cubs will be independent at the age of 18 months, so 1.5 years. And just a fun thing that this site says, the female is called a sow, and the male is called a boar. That's I just never heard that before. The baby is a cub, which I knew, but the sow and boar, that is kind of new. The cubs are born a bit incomplete. They are blind and toothless and only weighs from 90 to 130 grams. That's not that much actually. And the mama will be around 800 times that big. As you can see here, I kind of tried to make a theme in the color scheme in here. The flowers on out front is of course made to mimic the flowers in the rest of the entrance building. But in the habitat itself, I actually tried to stay with the greens and the pink on this side of the habitat. And then in the other corner of the habitat, I tried to make it completely different to kind of try to mimic 2 different biomes. So we have the temperate out here and the tiger biome in the other corner. I will say though, I haven't seen the bears out there at all using it, and I chose not to place any heaters or coolers in this habitat. Maybe I will when we get to winter if the pandas don't like the temperature, but at this point it's completely fine. I wanted to add some bamboo and I chose to do it here. Also, it will bring yet another level of space between the pandas and the guest, but it will also just add some bamboo, and it would be kind of weird not to have bamboo in a panda habitat. On the other hand though, they would probably eat the bamboo if they ever got hungry. I will say, I think my keepers in here feed them 3 times or 4 times a day. They got feeded all the time. So I don't think they need to, but it is a risk by putting something in a habitat that the animal eats. Back here, I know I add these ones that also are pink, but it's only because you only have the one color. And then we will add some yellow trees instead of the green, because the green here are from the wrong biome again. Also the pearl wrinkle I put down here. Again, because I forgot to put the Asian tag on, so they will also be removed in a bit. But I just like the texture it adds here. Humans have sadly but understandably hunted these bears for generations because of their fur. I kind of get it, because this is a quite unique fur. Not that I'm a fan of it. I don't like killing anything just for the fur. I do understand when we kill things to eat them, but you don't need the fur at all. And then of course, because it wasn't enough that we hunted them, we also have an issue with deforestation and land clearance, clearly removing a big part of the panda's habitat. And lastly, we have the climate change that actually kills the bamboo. Not the bear itself, but when we remove the bamboo from nature, which is 99% of a panda's diet. Maybe some pandas are at some point able to adapt. They could eat other things as we saw earlier. So they may be able to adapt at some point, but at the rate of the bamboo disappearing, the pandas just can't catch up. Luckily, there are so many organizations out there, as for instance WWF, that choose to help the pandas rehome, get reintroduced to nature, protecting some of their habitat, and so on. WWF isn't the only organization that helps the panda, but it is one that I really like to support and know the most about. So therefore, of course, I have a link in the description so you can go and support yourself. I will though recommend that you try to find a local for your country WWF part, because then you may be able to, as I got the merch here from Denmark, I wouldn't have been able to get that if I have supported an English WWF or anything like that. I do believe the one I link here is from England, because it is English language, and you are all able to support, of course, there. You just won't be able to buy anything there, and you probably won't be able to get sent anything from them. In some countries you actually get things as a gift when you sign up. In other countries you can buy these things. Of course, if you just want to leave a donation, you can certainly just use the link and donate. You don't need to sign up for donating every month. You can do that, but it is your own choice if you're going to. And of course, whether or not you're even going to use the link or going to donate anything, it's up to you if you want to, if you are able to. I'm not deciding if you are going to. I don't think that you have to. I'm just saying you have the possibility to. And again, I talk way too long, so enjoy this cinematic, and I will be back in a bit. Okay guys, that was all I had for you today. Please tell me, what do you think? Did I make the pandas justice in this video? You know the drill by now. Like, subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys!